Hello everyone, this is Guy, and I wanted to give you a short explanation of Excel and how Excel is different from PowerPoint and Word that you've previously studied. And the first thing you notice when you open an Excel workbook, now a workbook is an Excel file. An Excel file can have lots of worksheets in it, so this sheet is the only one in this workbook, but I can add another one just by clicking here and on this plus and adding a new worksheet. You can have hundreds of worksheets in a particular workbook. So that's the first thing. The sheets are kind of like pages in a Word document. The second thing is that a worksheet can be giant. Excel defaults to having up to 1,000,000 rows. So this is a row. So you can have up to 1,000,000 rows. And these are columns, and you can have over 16,000 columns in a single worksheet. So these can be giant. And the majority of Excel probably does not get printed, because once you get past what will fit on a single page, you start to get tiling. And so to make sense of a worksheet, you have to kind of scotch tape the tiles back together. And that gets really tedious. Some things that make it easy to work with these really large sheets are that you can, for instance, you can, on the View tab, you can freeze panes. And so when you freeze panes, everything above and left of of the cell you were selected in will stay on screen as you scroll. So now as I scroll, all those will stay on screen. And the same thing if I go down and scroll further, the frozen panes will stay on screen. You can unfreeze the panes if you wish to. You can also hide some things, so you can actually select and choose, right-click, and hide columns or rows. They're still there. The clues to that would be that the column letters jump from B to F. So there's also a kind of a wider column separator up here that is a clue, and you can select on both sides and then choose to unhide and bring them back. So those are some features you can use to work with really large spreadsheets. Another thing that's different about Excel is that any given cell can hold a number, like this cell and this cell. It can hold a label or some text, or it can hold a formula which does a calculation. So what we see in the particular cell I've clicked in is that it has a function, a formula. And if we look at, that's the sum function. It's one of hundreds of functions that are available to you. And if we double click in it, it will highlight the area that's being operated on. So this is a range, and you can actually adjust those by clicking and dragging the corner handles to change them. They can also be edited up here in the formula bar. So formulas are very useful because they will do math for you, and if you happen to change some of the numbers in the worksheet, the whole worksheet will recalculate and update following that change. So you don't have to do anything more once you've got that formula working for you. You can just enter the data, and Excel will take care of doing all the updates. So those are some key things I wanted to point out to you. That first of all, the worksheet is giant. And secondly, that any given cell can hold either text or a number or a formula. And by preference, if it has a formula, it shows the result of that formula in the cell. So you can click on this button up here to show formulas, and then it will show formulas instead of the results. That's useful sometimes for checking your formulas, but most of the time you'll want to be seeing the result. And you can see the individual formulas by clicking in a cell that has a formula, working up here in the formula bar. So I wanted to give you a quick introduction to Excel. It's very useful for managing lists and for doing any kind of calculations or keeping track of numbers. And you'll find more and more uses for it as you get more comfortable with it.